voices every day, showing us the way to think and feel, helping us to understand the rich man's point of view. They said it on the news and now it's real.
Happy Sunday, everyone, and welcome to another Chill Art Sunday. I hope everyone is doing very well, and thank you so much for joining. So, let's get going on this thing here that I have been working on for weeks now. I'm very likely not going to finish this today, but I really would like to, if possible. Alright, so let's see here. What have I done so far / last time? So, I have done this shading on the grass on the fields over here. I think I like it. Yeah, it seems to be fine as it is. I think the only things I need to shade next should be the trees and these two characters over here. Yeah, there isn't really much left. Awesome. So let's get started. Oh, I'll get started by turning on a light here first. I actually had to close my window for the record, so it is a little dark. Darker than usual in here, even though it is actually very bright outside still. And the reason for that is because my neighbor is having some people over, and there's kids playing their pool, there's loud music, so I shut the window so the microphone would not catch all that ruckus. So yeah, okay, anyway. What should I do first here today? I think I'm gonna shade the trees. Also, hold on. My tablet is sliding around for some reason. Why is it sliding around? Stop sliding around. I don't like it when you slide around, tablet. It ruins everything. Yeah, heck, hold on. Let me fix this. Alright, that's a little better, I guess. Yeah, I should work on this. Anyway, let's see about the trees. Yeah, let's start with this big one here. Let's pick Dodge to 100% of exposure. A soft round brush with a big size. Reptane! Happy Sunday! Thank you for joining. How are you doing? Traffic jam reported. I haven't played Simcopter in a while. I want to play that again sometime soon. Let's go with brush 1000. Yeah, sure. Yeah, don't tell me you are fitting crappy. Come on, things gotta get better soon. But to be fair, things have been kind of bad for everyone all around the place. And anyway, oh God, what happened, if I may ask? Alright, so for the basic lighting, I'm going to undo this and start over. Let me hide the structure and the character so I can have a full sight of this tree. This way I can make a more accurate lighting. Oh, basic lighting, but still. Alright, so there should be lots of light on this side of the tree, but also there should be some light on the other side over here. After all, it is daytime, so light is coming from pretty much everywhere. Though the other side there is the one that is the most exposed to light. Because, you know, the sun is on that side. Right there. Alright, let's see here now. Let's switch to the burn tool. Also a big round soft brush. Size 1500 will do for this. Letter from the landlord. Gonna kick me out because I couldn't pay for the rent. Oh God, I am so sorry, Reptane. I wish I could help you with that. I'm really sorry. But like, I don't know if I should ask much about this, to be honest. Yeah, I probably shouldn't. I'm really sorry. Do you have any plans at least? I'm really sorry, Rutane. I really am. Not even a friend's house, maybe? Photoshop here is taking sweet time, as usual. I am really sorry, Riptane. Alright, so Photoshop finished applying that. Let me switch back to the dodge tool over here with a 50% exposure. And brighten this up by half. I'm thinking if maybe I should add another pass of shading and lighting on these hills over here, but this time follow the shape of the hill like this, you know? Kind of like horizontally, not really horizontally, but in relation to the other passes that I have done here. As you can see, there's an angle going like this, and there's another one going like this on all of these patches of grass here, parts of the grass here. I might want to do another pass, but this time following this angle like this, you know. I'm not sure if that is actually going to look very good, but I think I'm gonna try. I'm gonna finish this tree here first, and then I'm going to experiment with that. The way this looks fine. I like it, but I kind of feel like if I do the thing that I have just mentioned, it will look better. So you see this waiting cursor that I have on the mouse right now? That indicates that the computer is doing something, you know, a little ring thing that spins around. It is animated. It's just funny that OBS does not capture that animation, so it is always still on the stream. Such an oddity. Right, so what did I just do here? Alright, I brightened this up a bit. Okay, let's pick a smaller brush and add a little more lighting to the sides over here. Maybe a smaller brush. Let's undo that. Let's see, maybe brush 700. Alright, let's see here. That seems fine. Let's do some of that over here too. And on the top, but I have light on the top as well. That is important. Alright, a little more on the top and around here. There we go. That's better. Let's see. Burn tool. 50% 50% exposure. Brush number 500 this time. And let's add some shading here. And there. More or less in the middle here, like this, you know. Actually not quite like that. Actually, let's not do any of that. Instead, let me switch back to the dodge tool and pick the leaf brush, size 15 maybe, with a 50% exposure. Let me zoom in just a little bit and let's add some highlights on this tree here. Oh, size 15 is actually too small for this. Let's try 20. Size 20 is still too small. That is one of the disadvantages of using such a large canvas. The problem with increasing the size of this brush for this effect is that, well, it becomes more visible. The shape of the brush becomes more visible. And that kind of breaks the effect a little bit. Or rather, the perception of the effect. At least if you see the picture at full size or zoomed in even. Alright, I'm not entirely sure what exactly I'm doing here at this point. I think I'm gonna have to redo this. But let me zoom in a little bit. Yeah, see? This is a 300% zoom, and you can clearly see the shape of the leaves from this brush. Even at 100%, we can see them. Yeah, this doesn't look very good. I mean, from afar, great, the effect works, but closer up, not really. Alright, let's try a smaller size again. 20. And maybe if I use a little some more circle, not circle, circular motions. That might help. Now the problem with using a smaller brush on such a larger canvas, bless you, bless you. My dad's sneezing. When he starts sneezing, it's hard to stop. You can still see the shape of the leaves. Oh no! Thank God, no, Riptane. Thank God, no. And God forbid it ever happens. Plus, he took the vaccine. He has been vaccinated. What is it saying? Something about the size of the brush in relation to the size of the canvas. Oh yeah, the problem with using a larger canvas with trying to apply this effect is, like I said, it doesn't look as good if using the appropriate size for the brush. And the problem with using a larger brush for this here is that then we can see the shape of the brush itself, and that kind of breaks the effect a bit. But if I reduce the size of the brush, although we cannot see the shape of the brush itself as much anymore, we can see the strokes of the brush. So it's hard to find a middle ground. And you probably might not really see this on the stream because, you know, quality and such. But here, if I create a new document, for example, yeah, sure, let's go with that size there. Increase the size of this brush so you can clearly see the shape. Where is it? Oh, shoot. I derped here, hold on. Change that to 15. Now pick the brush tool. There we go. That's what I should have done. Okay, you can see the shape of the brush and the cursor. But this is what it looks like. See? It is just a bunch of leaves. So on a larger canvas, for the effect to be applied more evenly without we being able to see the strokes of the brush, I gotta increase the size of the brush itself, but then we can see the shape of the leaves. On the other hand, the ideal size for this should be 10, actually 15, 10 or 15, either one. If I use the smaller one, the smaller size, although we can no longer see the shape as much because it kind of blends in a little more, it becomes easier to see the strokes. Like this, for example, see? You can see the strokes, and that's just not very good. Because, see, actually you don't see anything because I undid the effect. So whatever. Yeah, let me apply this again. But anyway, it becomes far more visible. I gotta find a way to... I can make this. I can. I know I can. I have been through this problem before. I just gotta figure out how to make it work. Got 10,000 points now. What do? What points? Points of what? Yeah, see, we can see the strokes here. Oh, dragon tokens. I don't know. It's your choice. Which reminds me, there's something here that I gotta re-enable, which is exclusive for Sunday streams. Let me do that here real quick. There we go. Alright, let me drink some water. I was actually going to drink water anyway. I need to figure out more fun stuff to, excuse me, I gotta figure out more fun stuff to add to these redemption, is that the word? To these dragon token things to redeem. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but I think you'll get the gist what I'm trying to say. I'm just saying words now. My brain has stopped working. Anyway, I gotta figure out what else to add there, because the current options are not really that fun, I guess. Not really that engaging. Alright, let me try very circular motions with this. Maybe that'll help. It is not really helping. I think what I will have to do here is actually find another brush that can do this job a little better at a bigger size. Question is, which brush to use for such? Let me experiment with this one. Yeah, this one does not look good. Not at all. Let me try something else. Let's see, what is this? Yeah, that's not good either. This looks like a bunch of leaves, but it's just as bad. And that's already a pretty big size. Alright, let's see what else. What else we've got here? I can very clearly see the path of the strokes, but what if I change the size of this brush to something bigger? What is this going to look like? Not bad. Certainly a little better than the leaf brush, but not that great either. What about this thing here? It looks like a blade of grass. Let me try size 50. Yeah, no, this one doesn't work. We can clearly see the shape. I mean, it's not so bad that we can see the shape of the brush. I mean, that's kind of unavoidable. The problem is when the effect gets broken. I mean, the perception of the effect. You know, because I'm trying to kind of convey some sort of texture here. But not really. And being able to clearly see the shape of the brush, that kind of breaks the immersion a little bit. Yes, we can see the shape of this thing as well. The heck is this thing? Wait, I might have found it. Oh, yes, look at this. This seems to be a much better choice. Let me just experiment with a smaller size. 100 might be too small. Or maybe not. Maybe not. Let's see. Oh yes, guys, I believe I have found the brush. looks like I have found just the brush for this. I said immersion, but what I meant to say is that it doesn't look as natural. And like I always say, I'm not trying to do realism here. I just want things to look natural. As natural as I can make them. Yeah, this works. Maybe just a little larger of a brush, perhaps. Let's see, 200, maybe. Alright, let me zoom in a little more. Now let's see here. Yes, this works. This brush works. Perfect. Well, maybe not perfect, but it's the best thing so far. Alright, let's add some of this thing over here. And here. Notice that I am kind of following the shape of the tree itself. Alright, let's see. There's some here. More or less in the center, kinda. Because, you know, trees are not flat. There we go. Well, maybe a little more highlighting on this side here. Yeah, kind of like this. That's nice. Let's do some of this on the trunk. Like that. Nice. A little more on this side here too. Not a little more, just a little here on this side. Yes, that works. Let's do the same thing now, but this time using the burn tool to add some extra shading. Question: what is this brush? Is it this here? No. I think the original size was 506. So if I find that number here, I will likely be finding the brush itself. There it is, that one. It's that one. Alright, I know now. Let's switch the burn tool. 10% exposure, and let's pick that same brush, size 200. And let's add a little bit of shading with this one. Kind of going around the lighting that I have applied. There's quite a bunch of this down here though. Maybe not quite a bunch, but you get what I mean. Some here, some more there, and here. Let's do some here. This area. Nice. Alright, let's take a closer look. Yeah, there, see, although this picture is actually really flat in terms of colors, with this I have kind of created some sort of texture on the trunk of this tree, even though it actually doesn't have any. So it looks a little more like wood. Not realistically, obviously, but it certainly does look more natural, and kind of the same thing with the leaves. I think I'm gonna add a little bit of this over here too. Oh yes, that was a good idea. Nice, I like it. Let's see now about adding a little more highlighting to these shadows. So, you know, to enhance the darker areas a little more. A little bit here too. And maybe a little bit here as well. Wait, that was too much. There we go. Some here too. Oh, over here. This area here is too bright. And I think this whole bottom part here should also be darker. Kind of like this. Maybe that is too much. Let's try again with a little less of this. Oh yes, that is much better. Let me zoom in and use a smaller brush with this to add some of this over here on these branches. Some here too. I know it is barely noticeable, if at all, but it actually enhances the effect. Okay, so that is done. Let me save. Okay, it's saved. I'm gonna swap to the leaf brush because now I want to try that thing that I mentioned on the grass. Here we go. I don't remember what size I have used for the grass, but let's go with 15 and see what happens. Let's see. Here, one grass. Grass 1. Right, so this is this. My knee is itching. Give me a second. There we go. Alright. Let's do it like this. Again, I have no idea if this is going to look any good. I can see the strokes way too much. Let's undo and try with a slightly larger brush. Let's see, size 15. Let's switch to 20. Yeah, this is a bit better. It can be better though. I derped the shape over there. I mean the angle. Let's do this again. A little more gently now. Yeah, this can be even better. I'm gonna keep doing the same movement here, but I am going to add a circular motion to that angle of movement. So hopefully this spreads out a little better. It's certainly an improvement, but it still can be better. It still can be better. Let's go with 30 because I feel that for this thing here, the grass, the size of the brush, it being bigger, I mean, isn't really much of a problem as it was with the tree, for example. Because I don't think that on the grass the shape of the brush itself is actually going to be as visible. Let me zoom in to check that. Yeah, it is not as visible. Not at all. Wonderful. Nice. I'm gonna do the same thing with the burn tool now. Did I use 15% exposure on that? Oh crap, I did. Alright, let's do that again. Was not supposed to use 15. Was supposed to be 10. 15% is too strong. I might have done one too many passes here. But let's see what this is going to look like when the computer finishes applying the effect. There we go. I'm going to undo and redo a couple times to see. Yeah, not bad. Let's do the same thing with the burn tool. Let's see, size 30 to, you know, enhance this a little more and make it look more natural as well. Slash mainly. Now let's see what this is going to look like. Yes, I think it is an improvement. I think it is an improvement. Let's have the structure here. Yeah, I believe it is an improvement. Let's move on to grass 2 and do the same thing there. I'm keeping the same size of brush, even though I recall that for this one I actually used a slightly smaller brush. Let me try this again. Now same thing with the burn tool. Nice. Let's repeat all of this with the other layers. So grass 3 and then grass 4. There we go. I might add some extra light highlighting, but I'll figure that out later. Alright, let's see here. Grass number 4. I'm still using the same size of brush, even though this part here, this layer, I actually used a much smaller brush for the shading and lighting there. Yes, guys, this looks much more natural now. Let's bring the characters and the structure back into view. That looks a lot more natural now. It definitely looks more natural. So let's save. I like it. It is fine. That tree trunk. It looks too bright, doesn't it? I think it does. Let's make it a little darker. So let's go back to that whatever brush. Here we go. 506. Size, let's use size 300. I'm not going to do the same thing on the remaining on the other hill there, by the way. That other one is fine. Tree close. Yes, this one. Wow, it looks so much different without this tree. Looks so much more barren. Interesting. Alright, let's see here. Let's make it darker in general. Okay, that might be too dark now. 5% exposure. And just a couple passes. Yes, that is better. Save again. Let's do this tree here now. That should be tree close 2. Yep, that's the one. Dodge 2. 100% exposure. Soft round brush. Learning the larger size though. 500 perhaps? Maybe. Yeah, let's use 700 instead. Although actually 700 might be too big. Not really. Just gotta do this right. There we go, that should work. Now a soft round brush for the burn tool as well, and let's use a very much larger, what? No, that's wrong. A much larger brush to make this very much darker. Alrighty. Computer, come on, it's just a little bit. Just a little bit of burning there. You don't have to take this long to apply the effect. Well, apparently it actually must. That is fine. There we go. And let's go back to the dodge tool. Dodge tool, not dodge. I'm gonna also use size 1000, but the exposure is gonna be dropped to 50%. Okay, so that was dodge tool 50%, right? Right. So now, what I gotta do here is start to add some highlights to, you know, make it more natural. Let's start with this bit here, like so. Now notice that I just added more light to this bottom part of the tree, not this area here. That's because the idea being not being that this section of the tree is covering this area here, so this area should be receiving less light from the sun, less direct light from the sun, I should say, because you know that's basically how light works. There's a little bit of lighting there, because light should also be coming from the other side, and same thing there, maybe with a smaller brush. 200. Yeah. Yeah, sure. That's fine. Let's see, brush 100 for this part here. Yeah, it's fine. Now let's see about that brush for the silver texture. Where is that? Where is that whatever brush? Size 506. Somewhere around here. There it is. That is way too big for this here. Let's try size 100. Too small. Let's go with 300. 300 might be... Actually, 300 might be too much. Yeah, 300 is too much for this. Let's try 200. Oh, no. I'm stupid. I gotta change the exposure to 10%. There we go. Now 200 is too small. Let's switch back to 300 and zoom out a little bit. Ah, yes, there, see? Now that works. Let's apply some of this down here. Nice. A little bit here too. Let's add some extra for highlighting. Maybe we should use a smaller brush for that. Let's see, 200. More on the edges here. Because you know, that's basically how highlighting works, right? Some here too. Okay, let's switch now to the burn tool and use the same brush. Probably the same size as well. To do the shading. Here. This darker area there, quite a bunch. Let's bring this down a bit. And a little more here. And there. Some here. And some up there too. Okay. Let me pick size 150 and do a little bit of lighting highlights around the tree like this, just like I have done with the other tree, the first one. So you know, try and make this look more natural. Yeah, that looks fine. Let's see about the trunk over here. Let's do some of this here too. Maybe more like this. Oh yes, look at that. I like it. Looks very nice, I dare say. Let me just do a little touch up. Actually, let me use size 100. On this part here. A little more darkness there. Not too much. That might have been too much. No? No. That is fine. That is fine. Wait, is it? Is it? Kinda. Almost. Let me try and follow the shape of the green area a little better. Yeah, there you go. That's better. All right, I'm keeping that. Let me save. Now for that tree over there, I believe I can use the leaf brush to apply this effect, because that tree is much farther in the distance. Therefore, due to perspective, it is much smaller also. So the size of the brush should not really matter as much as it did, for example, with the first tree. So that should be tree close 3. Yep, that's the one. So there's the sun. So the light should be more or less like this. For the basic lighting. Some down here and there. Okay, that was too much. Let me do this again. There we go. Whether I finish this picture today or not, I'm thinking on the next Sunday, instead of working on more art, like this for example, I'm thinking to do a little bit of a different stream for the next Sunday. It's still going to be about art, obviously. That's what the Chill Art Sundays are about. But I'm thinking of doing something different. What am I thinking of? Well, that's a secret that you are going to find out if you watch the next stream on the next Sunday. Spoilers. But to give you a little hint. Okay, I gotta wait for Photoshop. Okay. But there's a hint on my desktop here. If you can figure it out, well, kudos to you. I'm not gonna give any more hints than that. But yeah, no promises. But I'm likely gonna do this kind of different stream on the next Chill Art Sunday. Again, it's still gonna be all about art, but it's gonna be different. No promises though. Also, it might also be slightly shorter than the usual duration of these Sunday streams, but well, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. All right, so for the basic lighting, this should be fine. Let me do a little bit of basic shading, and then I'm going to move on to, am I having too much? To making this have some sort of texture. Let's try this again. Yeah, that's a bit better. It can still be better. Let's try 200. Brush 200. Too big. There. Wait, did I lose pen pressure for some reason? I did. What the hell? Why? How? Ah, heck. I did not click on OBS this time. Fine, I'm gonna restart Photoshop. How the frick did I lose pen pressure? Also, this should be closed. Minimized, rather. Ah, balls. That's fine. This is only gonna take a minute. And there we go. We are back here. Just to confirm. Okay, I have vent pressure back. Great. Schmexcellent. Yeah, there. See, that's much different now. Now that's more like it. That's more like what I was trying to do. This can and will obviously be better. Let's do now the pseudo texturing. Leaf brush, size 15, exposure 10%, and let's do the thing. See how it looks different on this smaller thing? Now, this is what it's supposed to be like. At least, thankfully, I am glad that I found a substitute for larger sizes. Let me do some of this on the trunk. Here we go. Some more on the top of the tree for highlighting. Okie dokie. Now let's spread some of this around. I'm kind of trying to follow the actual lines of the leaves just a little bit. I might have overdone with this darkness here though. I might have overdone that. We are going to find out very soon if I actually did. If I did, then I'm gonna have to restart all of this on the tree. I'm gonna have to do it all over again. Which I hope I will not have to do. I mean, it's not really much of a big deal. This isn't difficult or anything, it's just extra work. I should say, actually, kind of unnecessary extra work. Just kinda. A little bit of this there. Maybe not. Alright, now some of this going down here. Let me do some extra highlights for light on the sides here. There we go. Give me a little bit more on the top. Some here too. I think that is fine. And save. Now, how the frick am I gonna do this for those apple trees? They are farther in the distance, but that is not a problem. The problem is that each one of these is in a separate row. I mean, each row of these trees is in a separate layer. Let me hide these trees on the front here. Hold on a second. What about that tree there? Is this in the same layer as these? Yes, it is. Which one is that one? Where is it? Ah! He's all the way back there. Okay, let's call this tree far. There. Such a creative name, isn't it? Alright, so that one is far away. Technically on the other hill, actually. I think that just a soft round brush for that one is gonna be enough. Maybe. Let's find out. Did I lose pin pressure again? No, I didn't. That actually already looks nice. Sure, size 300 for this. Oh, wait. Undo. Let me start over with this tree. This tree, this little tree, well, not really little, just far away. That tree is on the same layer as this one and this one, so effects that I apply to this one in this area here can and very likely will also accidentally be applied to this part of this tree over here. That is not supposed to happen. So to avoid that, I'm gonna have this selection around this tree. There we go. That way anything that I do here is gonna be contained within this selection. Therefore, not gonna affect this tree here or that tree over there. Good thing I noticed that soon. All right. Basic lighting. Maybe a larger brush. Let's go with 150. I might have been too much light on the trunk, but we'll find out. Darken it up. And let's bright it up again. I mean back by 50% only. See, now with this selection I can just go all willy-nilly with the brush, even going as far as going over here above over the other tree, without concerns that the effect is going to be applied to this one, which is great. Let's do some light highlighting on top of the tree and a little bit on the sides too, for, you know, more naturality. Also the trunk there, a little bit here. Nice. Yeah, even without applying the leaf brush trick, quote unquote, that already looks pretty nice. I could leave it. I could leave it like this, but I'm gonna go ahead and use the leaf brush thingy anyway, with a size 10 this time. Let's see how much better this is going to look like, or worse. It really could go either way. No, it is going to look good. It is going to look good. Nice. Let's do the same thing for shading. Size 10. Exposure 10. Here in the center of the tree. A little bit there. Yeah, there we go. That's a happy tree. That's a happy tree. Let me save and drink some water. Right. So these trees are done. Let me close this group here and hide it actually, because now I want to see about those apple trees. Let's see, where are they? Oh, that's quite a lot of them. Right, sure. Let's begin with that one there. Dodge tool, 100% exposure. Wait. Oh no! The trees are not merged. Oh god. Each and every single one of these trees has a layer for themselves. Oh no! I can either merge these layers together and shade that as a whole, or I can shade each tree individually. Shading them individually is gonna give me the advantage of being able to, do a more, let's say, customized shading to each one, make them look more natural. On the other hand, doing that is gonna mean, oh my god, I can't even. Doing that means that I will be spending a lot of time shading these things. If I decided to instead just merge and do the layers as a whole, so all trees for every single row being in the same layer, that means that I will be able to shade all of them at the same time, which will save a lot of time, though in exchange the shading is not going to look as natural anymore. Well, very likely. What are these hidden layers here? Why did I hide these? Oh, that's why. Never mind. Let me try something here. Now, because these are so far away, what if I just cheat a little bit? Like, use bevel and emboss. Hold on, not this one. Wait. Yeah, not this one. Let's start with this one here, which is that first tree there. Hold on. Let me zoom in so I can actually see what this is actually looking like while I do it. Let's see, soften, sure. Let's increase the size. That doesn't look very good, does it? If I really want detailing, I would be doing tree by tree and even shading the apples. But god, that would be a nightmare. That white up there is too strong. Let's drop its opacity to 50%. Now I think, yeah, let's drop the opacity of the black as well to 50%. Hmm. This is not bad, not really, but it's not really good either. What if I change this color instead of white? What if I give it a hue of green? Or instead yellow with a little touch of green. You know, maybe a yellowed green. And I could do the same thing for the black over here, although that is actually just pure black. Regardless, what if I give this a shade of green? Okay, this is a little better, but not that great. Let's increase the size. 50? No, let's go further. Let's go all the way to 100. No, that was too much. $50 might be where it's at. Yeah, that's marginally better. The problem that I'm seeing here is that it kind of gives the impression that the very center here is actually completely flat. Like, to give you an example of what exactly I'm seeing there, let me do this here. Let me try to illustrate what I am seeing. Alright, so let's imagine that we are going to be looking at that tree from a kind of isometric top-down perspective. Alright, so let's imagine that this here is the top of the tree, kinda. Okay, that's a bad angle. Okay, let's imagine it is more or less like this, right? And down there is the trunk, right? And here's the apples. Such wonderful apples. Hey. It's actually kind of looking like a mushroom. Okay, maybe this will help. Okay, I guess that helped a little bit. Right, like, let me add a fence here for perspective's sake. Oops. Alright, imagine that as a fence. Sure, like this. And another one there. Just to sell the idea of this perspective a little better. Don't mind the shape of this fence here. Whoever built this is not a carpenter. All right, I think you can tell what I'm trying to get at with this illustration. Okay, so alright, so there's a tree, right? So what I am seeing here with the flat thing that I mentioned in this area here is that this is actually kind of looking like as if it were like this. And let me raise this part inside here. And let me do some of these leaves more flattened. And there's the apples. So kind of like this, you know, when you press something against glass, for example, like your face. Yeah, imagine that there is glass. Hold on, let me make this thinner. Imagine like there is glass here. A big glass wall pressing against the tree on that part there. Yeah, see? Now you can picture what I'm trying to say here, what I'm seeing there. So this here, I am seeing flat right here in the center, which is as if there was, you know, as if the tree was actually flattened on this side here, like that. Excuse me. Like it would, for example, if there was a giant piece of glass pressing against it. How can I make this better without actually having to spend all the time doing tree by tree, doing shading tree by tree? What if I do this anyway? But actually instead, oh god, 100% is too much for that. What if I do this? And then repeat the same thing with this here. Okay, I think that actually works. I mean, I would still have to do it on a tree by tree basis, but it definitely makes the process more easy. So let's see, let's copy the layer style from this first tree and let's apply it to the second. And let's apply the dodge and burn tools. No real need for much accuracy or detailing here because, again, these are far away, and is this the right one? Yep. And a lot of this is actually going to be covered by other trees. Just gotta make it look natural enough. Which I don't know if I am actually gonna achieve that by doing this, but I'm gonna keep doing it. Now let's see what happens. Like I always say, I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just doing it. And seeing what happens, what works, what doesn't, what might need fixing, and what not. So this one here, maybe just the lighting. Yeah, let's add some shading as well. Keep pasting the layer style. Base layer style. Art is not that easy, I tell you. It is very pleasant to make, but it's not exactly easy. It's not hard, don't get me wrong. I think what I'm trying to get at is that there are people who think that doing art is just a matter of, you know, just do a stroke and boom, it's done. That is easy, or that there is a key on your keyboard or a button that you can press that will instantly make the art. It's not how that works. It takes time, it takes dedication. It can be easy work, but most of the times it is hard work. Okay, I don't even know where this tree here is. Alright, let's contemplate this for a moment. At 100% zoom. Not great, not terrible. 3.6. Let's see the next row. Oops. Let's see the next row, and hopefully things will actually look better once I have more trees undergo this process. Oh, I might need to adjust the bevel and emboss for these. Maybe less size on this here. No, keep it at 50. Instead, let's drop the opacity a bit. Nope. Nope. Leave it like this. And instead, let's just do the thingy with the thing. That is barely visible at all. Let's do some more. Should I increase the exposure? Let's bump it up to 15. Yeah, I think that helped a bit. I don't think I should need to do that for the shading on the burn tool. Yeah. Let's see the next one. Paste layer style. I'm still using 50% exposure on this one. Maybe for this tree here, 50% might be too much. Let's switch back to 10%. Yeah, 10% works best for this one. Next. Nice. God, there's still so many more trees to do. Oh, dear Lord. Oh. Okay, this one is going to require 15% exposure. because it is much darker. It requires 15%, but it will also require more passes. Is this trunk here belonging to this tree here? I think it is. Alright, let's go another pass. Circular motions. Alright, that should be enough. Next tree. Back to 10%. Alrighty. Now the shading. And now move on. Guys, this is only the second row of trees. There's still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 other rows, and each and every single one of them has a bunch of trees. Like I mentioned earlier, I could just merge all of these trees together into the same layer. It definitely would make the process of shading them far quicker, but it would not look very natural. So yeah, this is a lot of extra work, but I think it's still the better choice. Paste layer style. This here is going to require another pass of the brush. That should be enough. I hope you don't mind, but I'm actually going to be quiet for a moment while I do these effects on these trees, because there really isn't much to be talking about, and there are so many of these. So yeah, for now, enjoy the music. Now, you know what is the worst part of me doing this for every single tree, at least in the way that I'm doing it, is that I don't actually know if this is actually going to look any good when everything's done, which means that there is quite the chance that all the time that I am spending doing this, doing these effects on these trees, that might be a huge waste. There is a chance that is going to happen. And if it does, well, that's going to be frustrating. God, so many trees. Reminds me of the times that I shaded a whole forest a few times, for a few pictures I should say. Like, literally, a forest. Although to be fair, I didn't really have to do every single tree in the forest. The forest was in the distance. Let me show you one of those. Here, whip. Let's see, Photoshop. I'm thinking of two pictures. One was a commission. Let's see here, commissions. Probably 2015. Class A. Yeah, this one. So this was one. And this is a forest, supposed to be a forest. It looks very nice, I dare say, but in my aid, every single one of these trees is actually just a brush. It's a brush shaped like a tree. So this was a little easier, and also it is off in the distance. I really like what I did with the lake here. I'm not sure if I would be able to recreate this effect now if I try. That's kind of cute. So yeah, that's one. What was the other one called? Not seeing it right here, right now, but there it is. His light will guide your way. This was a gift for a friend that I had. Here's another forest. Now this one you can barely see any of it because it is dark and there's fog. But yeah, that was a forest that I had to shade everything. It was a lot of work, but definitely not as much work as these freaking apple trees. Oh Lord. Freaking apple trees. It's no wonder that they say that an apple a day keeps the doctor away. Anyway. Let's keep going. So yeah, I hope you don't mind my extended silence every now and then. There's just so many trees and so little to talk about during this whatever I am doing. Case layer style. The good news is I am almost done with the second roll. The bad news is that there are still other 5 ones to go. This one is going to require a higher exposure and a few more passes. Although I wonder if I use 20% exposure instead of 15, how much better is this going to look? Quite marginal, very little improvement. This is still going to require more passes. Let's go back to 15% on this one. Oh wait. There we go. Dragons at the gate, they won't stop us getting to the top. Flying into space like a rocket, never giving up. Always all alone when it started, always been the same. Now you're here, the throne is in charge of everything will change. Look at those freaking trees. Not great, not terrible. But definitely not great. Let me see if this is a 100% zoom. Yeah, this is working, it's just... it doesn't look very nice. Not as nice as I wish it would be anyway. But it is working. On the bright side though, now that I have re-enabled the layer with these trees here up front on the foreground, I can see that I actually don't really have to do that shading for every single tree because a bunch of them is hidden away by this one. Thank God I put a tree over here. Let me stretch a little bit. I think I deserve it. I haven't done even half of those apple trees, but the little that I have done so far has already gotten me so tired that I feel like just dropping my head here on my desk and just falling asleep. Oh man. Let me take a quick break from this to recover, and I'll be back in a minute. I'm still here. I'm just gonna close my eyes for a sec. So, be right back.
Life is older than the trees, younger than the mountain, rolling like a breeze. Country roads take me home to the place I belong, West Virginia. Oh, Mountain Mama, take me home. Country roads, all my memories gather round home, country roads. Oh, take me home, country roads. Oh, take me home, country roads.
Alright, I'm back. I also took the opportunity to pay the bathroom a quick visit. What is Bible Thumb? Rectang. I don't know what that is. Twitch emotes from long ago made you feel you're not alone. Yeah, Twitch has a bunch of them. I never really explored how many. I never really explored what emotes Twitch has. What is that? Let me see on the other PC because I don't want to lose pin pressure by clicking on OBS. Just a moment. Ah, I see. So is the song there copyrighted? Because if it is, then I cannot play this on the stream. But if it is, then I'll have to watch this later. But if it isn't, then whatever. I don't post videos, and if I do, I'll give a warning. Fair enough. Alright, so it is safe for streaming then, right? Alright, let's take a look then. Let's watch this together. Let me switch to... Actually, I'm not going to switch to anything. Instead... Yeah, let me grab the other keyboard here. Let me put that on full screen and press this button over here. Whoop. That didn't do anything. Let me try again. Whoop. Up, there it is. Wait, it's gone. Up, it's back. Okay. Let me enable this here. Sound from the other computer. Pause the music and let's see this. That is still the original instruments though.
Older Twitch chat, all these emotes, wondering how to spell that. Now we're older, everyone's moved on, but I remember Twitch chat from those days that are gone. Twitch emotes from long ago.
I see what you meant now.
You're not alone. Kappa Pog Champ. Keep a forehead. Bible thumb.
Oh, that's what Bible Thumb is.
Emote.
Okay, I'm still a newbie in regards to Twitch.
Typing Dan's game.
Typing Dan's game.
Forehead Swift Rage. PJ Salt and Failfish.
All right, I'm gonna watch the watch. What am I saying? Watch the rest of this at some other time because I'm pretty sure because that's the original instrumental from the actual song, the original song. I'm pretty sure that is gonna get a copyright claim. I will watch it full later. I'm gonna leave it open on the browser there to watch later. Maybe Twitch itself is not really gonna complain, but YouTube, when I upload the VOD to there, YouTube is certainly gonna be like, "Hey, we found this thing over here. There, it's copyrighted. You got a copyright claim there. It doesn't affect your video, but you cannot monetize." Although I cannot monetize anyway. But yeah, I think everybody likes Country Roads. There's even that meme with a cat with a text saying that what does it say? I think it goes something like person. I don't like country music. But oh my god, let me see if I find that because my memory sucks. Country Roads meme. Instrumentation is also covered. It sounds so much like the original though. Ah, there you go. That's the one. Me, I hate country music. Radio. Country roads take me home to the place I belong. Me, West Virginia. Yeah, I'm pretty sure everyone likes country roads. People who live in West Virginia, Fallout fans, Satan, every other human being on Earth, people who like the Africa by Toto memes, animals, Kingsman fans, God, non-country roads fans, country roads, loving country roads. Oh yeah. Dude, country is the US version of German Volksmusik. Really, I should try checking one of those at some point. Ah, this is adorable. Yeah, this is so cute. Oh god. You know something that I should do at some point that might be fun and add a little more of variety to the content that I stream. I should probably do at some point a stream where I just look at memes. Like half an hour to an hour of just looking at memes and laughing my butt off. Is what people over 70 plus listen. So horrible. Oh god. I'm pretty sure it cannot be worse than Brazilian country music. Virginia, West Virginia, me. Yeah. I'm gonna plan out and fresh out rather this idea of making a stream full of memes. I mean, where I just check memes. Wave particle light. Yeah, I think that would be fun. All right, these flipping apple trees. Someone kill me. Oh boy. Alright. I mean, Schlagen music, not Volksmusik. I apologize if I am butchering the pronunciation for the record. I don't speak German. That's the one even more horrible. Alright, in that case I'm gonna stay clear from that. So have I finished the second row? Man, I don't even remember. Where are the rows here? Hold on. What am I looking for? Trees close by. Okay, so it looks like I have finished the second row, right? And if I didn't, it is hidden away by the trees. So let's see about row number 3 over here. Is that the one? Nope. Wait, what? Oh, I get it. Okay, I see. For some reason I have named the first row as Apple Trees row 0, and the second one is named 1, and the third one is 2. What the hell is wrong with me? Pronunciation was okay, just the V is like F in German. Oh, I see. Voiceless V, basically. So let me try again. So that will be for the folk music, right? I'm assuming. So that would be pronounced like prepare yourself, brace yourself for cringe. So that would be like hold on, let me think first. Pronounced like an F, so it would be like Volksmusik. Volksmusik. Yeah, right? Kind of like, oh, I'm stupid. Kind of like Volkswagen, right? The car brand. Yay! There I go. Yeah, I got it. Nice. All right, enough. Whatever. Just let me. I think I am finding excuses to not do the shading of these trees. Let's get started with this. There we go, number 1, which is actually 30, but whatever. At least now I know that I don't have to do all of them, because a bunch of them is hidden away by these trees up front. So that's a plus, I guess. Still, oh god, what did I bring myself to? I don't know. Brain has shut down. Words are just pouring out. Mostly meaningless at this point, without much thought, let alone logic, which therefore results in lack of sense for quite some sentences. Anyway, trees. Imagine if I were drunk. If I am just babbling meaninglessly like this now, really, imagine if I were drunk. And mind you, I actually don't drink. I don't drink alcohol. It is not a religion thing. It is not a medical condition that, you know, doctors say, hey, if you drink alcohol, you're gonna die. No. It's just an option. Self-choice. I mean, self-imposed choice. Well, not really imposed, that's a strong word, but it's a choice. nonetheless. I don't know, I just never felt any curiosity to finding what alcohol tastes like, let alone what it's like to, as they say, get a buzz on. And besides, God knows what I might do if I get drunk. I do, after all, I confess, I do have a little bit of a... What's the term that I'm looking for here? Not a temper. It's, I can have a little problem with anger management sometimes. So, yeah, I don't think that knowing what I would be like when drunk will actually be like. I'm kind of scared of finding out. Who knows what I would do. Yeah, it's fine. I drink beer from time to time as a choice. I have no problem. I have no problem. Just not drinking from time. Just not drinking that. Yeah, that's fair enough. I mean, so that is something that I don't do even. I mean, not even that is something that I do. I just prefer to drink fruit juice, soda, you know, like Pepsi for example. Guaraná is something very good. Yeah, I prefer those. And water, obviously. Like, we're just speaking of, excuse me. Yeah, that hit the spot. Base layer style. Ah, wrong tree. I skipped one. Didn't even notice. I think I am just too eager to get finished with these, to get done with them. That's why I skipped one. My brain was like, hey, let's just skip this one. He won't notice, right? But nope, I did. Again, it's not looking bad, it's just not great. Not great, not terrible. I have a very nice well here just outside my city, where my dad refills water for me in 4 canisters, each 5 liter in size. Food better than the water you can buy in the store. Don't you have I mean water from plumbing? I mean, I'm not implying that it is a bad thing to take water from a well. Actually, we have a well here in my house, although we use that one to refill the pool, which, by the way, I haven't cleaned that thing in so long now. It's so much work to clean pools. I don't think I like having a pool at home. But regardless, I digress. I haven't cleaned that thing in so long that I kid you not, the water is green. It is disgusting. I have no idea how I'm gonna clean that thing. I mean, I will remove all the filth, you know, algae and that sort of stuff, but to make the water clear again, I don't know. Here's a PDF from that well. Even better than the tap water, and that one is already one of the best in Germany. Oh, that sounds good. Let me see that PDF there. Again, me with excuses to not shade these trees. Save that over there. I'm doing this on the other PC for the record. One bad thing about the water is the cans turn into rust color pretty quickly. So much iron there. Oh. I mean, is that healthy enough? That is all in German. I cannot understand a single thing. Oh, I have seen pictures of this before. Somewhere. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have seen pictures of this before. Do I dare read this out loud? You're gonna hate me for this, but I'm gonna. Just for the heck of it. Albert Jarez no, I'm not gonna. I can't. Don't. Yes. No. I am sorry. Oh man. I can kind of make out more or less what these here mean. But I'm not well, magnesium, I understand that, and calcium. Although that's probably because that's actually Latin, but yeah. I cannot German. I cannot German. Alright. I mean, sometimes even English. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Anyway, apple trees. Where was I? Alright, this one here. More shading here. Please tell me I won't have to apply any sort of shading to the tree that is to the apple tree that is showing around here somewhere. Haze layer style. This song that they're playing here is quite quiet, isn't it? It's by the end now. I'm just gonna leave it playing. It's fine. Alright, let's paste the layer style on the next one. And I don't think I see it. Let me move it around. Okay, awesome. This one is not visible. Okay. Screw that tree in particular. And the other ones. This whole section over here. Thank God I'm not gonna have to shade them. Alright, let's see. Row number 3. Which is actually row number 4. I'm gonna rename these groups here. For some reason I almost said anchors instead of groups. Alright, 0 becomes 1, 1 becomes 2, 2 becomes 3, 3 becomes 4, 4 becomes 5, 5 is now 6, and 6 is to be named 7. The number of perfection. Nice. Alright, now I can say that I will work on row number 3. And paste layer style. There we go. Wait. It didn't apply the layer style. Am I on the correct layer? Is this a wait? What is happening? Help! Confused dragon noises. Oh. Wait, what? Oh, I get it. Alright, okay. There we go. I bamboozled myself. Alright, let's put this at 10% exposure. Crash course German. German J is pronounced like the English Y. The SZ sharp S. That looks like a B. Not gonna lie. Sorry, that's pronounced that thing that looks like a B is actually an S that is pronounced as SZ. I mean, not SZ, but like what would it be? G? No, not G. That sounds like G. I don't know how to pronounce that. Regardless, that is a voiceless S. I should have just have read the rest. Derp. I can sound. Single vowels aren't rounded like in English, but have a single sound. Is it bad if I say that the German is complicated? I mean, hard? I don't think I would survive learning German. Not that it is a bad language, it isn't. That's not what I am saying. You know, I don't know what I'm trying to say. I don't even know what I am saying. I think I left my brain on Saturday. Truth be told, I actually woke up much earlier than I usually wake up on Sundays. And before this stream, I actually felt like if I laid my head, I could fall asleep and sleep like a rock until tomorrow in a matter of seconds. Get on Discord, give a crush. No, thank you. Oh no. Actually, I would really like to learn Italian. Italian's a fun language. I mean, not fun, just it is a language that I mean, yeah, kind of fun, I guess. Not because the language itself is fun, but probably because of some people that I have met in my life who were Italian, and they had all the mannerisms, you know, the gesturing with the hands and whatnot, and the accent, and they were very fun people. I miss them. I think that's why I decided that I wanted to someday learn Italian. Actually, if I'm not mistaken, by the way, speaking of learning German, if I'm not mistaken, my dad mentioned a few times before that he tried learning German. He even started learning German when he was younger, but then he kind of gave up on that and instead decided to learn what is the language called in English? Hold on, and now I cannot even remember the name of that thing in Portuguese. It's not Aramaic. Aramaic, is that a thing? No. Hebrew. I remember Hebrew. So he started learning Hebrew. I am almost every single time almost clicking on merge down instead of paste layer style. I'm gonna be quite upset if I accidentally do that at some point. I mean, no big deal, I can just Control Z, but still. Say it, say what? Wait, what is that? Is that a clapping emote? Is that David Starr? Alright, I figured the emoji. I'm just not entirely sure what those two are supposed to mean. Where was I? We are not Jew, by the way. Not that there's anything wrong with being Jew. Not at all. He decided to learn Hebrew to read the Bible the way it was written, you know, in the original language. He actually says that modern Hebrew, like if he were to watch something from that's on TV, for example, in Hebrew, he would very likely not understand at least half of that. But the passages in the Bible, in the old Hebrew, he can read and understand those. Which obviously is not to say that he doesn't use a dictionary to aid him. He does. He's still learning that, actually. But it's very nice. Although myself, that's a language that I would not dare try to learn. Not because, I mean, what I'm trying to say at this time, I know, just so different, you know. Hebrew must be pretty difficult for Indo-European speakers. I cannot even imagine. And I hope it's not bad for me to say that Hebrew and Chinese, Japanese, no, that is wrong. Japanese, quite a bunch of other Asian languages, Arabic also, to mention another one. All of those languages, excuse me. I hope it's not bad for me to say that I look at the letters, I only see squiggles. My apologies for anyone who speaks those languages natively, but I only see squiggles. But that is out of ignorance. I know those are actual letters, it's just that because I don't know the alphabet, they look like squiggles. AKA warm letter. I mean, I should probably shut up now. Where is this tree here? Oh, it's right there. Okay, can barely see that one. Let's just do a little touch of this on the very top that it cannot be seen, just to say that I did it. Let's move on to the other ones. Just having a bit of fun. Of course, of course. But you know, some people, there's always that one snowflake. Who cares? As far as I am aware, we are not offending anyone. That is certainly not the intention, anyway. And I mean, I make fun of my own native language. So yeah, who cares? There's no way it can be offensive. Like, I'm not throwing anything under the bus. We are not throwing anything under the bus. Like snowflakes, let's go. Yeah, I know, right? I gotta say, people like that, and now I'm serious about this, they would not survive the 90s. They would not have survived the 90s. Not at all. The 90s, were some wild times. I don't know about TV, for example, around the world, like in Europe, for example, what was on TV at that time, but here in Brazil, it was crazy. Like, no joke. If you search, for example, a TV show called... What was it called again? Oh heck, I forget it now. Oh, I remember now. Domingo Legal, which translated to English would be like Cool Sunday. It would be like this: Domingo Legal. Oops, I missed an O here. So, like, for example, obviously I'm not going to show any of that on the stream because snowflakes, and actually that would actually be kind of inappropriate, because let's just say that there was stuff that children should not be watching at lunchtime on Sundays on TV in the 90s. But regardless, I digress. This show, Domingo Legal, which still exists by the way, but in the 90s they had it is one of those talk shows. Not really talk shows, but there's a presenter and dancers on a stage in a studio with an audience, and they have different games they play with gas and that sort of stuff. I'm not really sure what those are called in English. Actually, I'm not sure what they are called in Portuguese even. So, anyway. So one of the attractions they had in the show was called Banheira do Gugu, which translated to English would be like Gugu's bathtub. Gugu, for the record, was like this, was the host of the show at the time, and the actual attraction was called this, Banheira do Gugu. And mind you, this show was on television, on public television, on Sundays from 11 in the morning to around 4 in the afternoon on a Sunday, time when all families were at home having lunch, enjoying their day with their loved ones and whatnot. And one of the attractions the show had in the 90s was this Banheiro do Gugu, Gugu's bathtub, where basically they would pitch the guests in teams against each other inside a bathtub. They would be in swimsuits. Man, always pretty women in bikinis. Inside the bathtub. The objective was to catch a bunch of soap bars inside the water. I think one man, usually a man, would have to try to grab as many soap bars out of the tub in a given amount of time, while the woman would hold them back and try to stop them from doing that. And mind you, that was on TV on Sundays. If that were on TV nowadays, it would definitely get censored and pushed to, I don't know, like late in the night, for example. Even if allowed to be on TV at all. So yeah, the 90s on TV were crazy. And SFP, yeah, exactly. The only thing I watch from Brazil is Vinheteiro. Oh, I know Vinheteiro. I believe he has made a few videos on Banheira do Gugu. Look those up. You will see exactly what I am talking about. He covers a lot, if not all, stuff 90s. Stuff that were around here in the 90s. So yeah, I 100%. He covered. Actually, he did cover that. I remember watching on one of his videos on that subject. So yeah, look it up. Vinheteiro, Banheira do Gugu. You will see exactly what I'm talking about. And that is only one example of stuff that was on TV in the 90s here in Brazil. So yeah, man, the 90s, crazy stuff, crazy stuff. Not safe for watching with parents. Yeah. But I mean, we watched that stuff on TV and we didn't care. We didn't think that it was like, I don't know, erotic, for example. I mean, there certainly were people who would think that, but it was just entertainment. Everyone was fine with it. Another example of stuff that nowadays, even at the time, was already kind of inappropriate, but nowadays is even more, was a band called Mamonas Assassinas. It's spelled like this. They had a very short career because, unfortunately, their plane crashed and everyone on board died in 1996. They made many fun songs. They had a very strong fame here in Brazil. They were really popular. They were everywhere on TV and radio and such. Like I said, their songs were very fun. The problem were the lyrics. The lyrics of most of their songs, even at the time, were quite inappropriate. And thing is, most of their fans were actually children, and nobody cared on how inappropriate those lyrics were, because the children, they didn't understand what the lyrics meant. For them, myself included, it was just a fun song. Parents didn't really care. Mind you, their songs were played at children's birthday parties even. And I don't know, it was just fun. Everybody was just having fun, having a good time. Nobody really cared about this stuff like people does nowadays. It was just fun. It was just fun. What is going on over here? Oh, I see. Just this tree here has kind of a weird shape on this side here. Alright. I mean, even the cover for their album is inappropriate. If you Google it, you will see exactly what I'm talking about. But yeah, it was just fun. People were having fun, having a good time. Nobody was feeling offended by anything. Everybody was just enjoying a laugh, enjoying good times. Man, I miss that aspect of the 90s, really. Obviously, almost everything nowadays is better than the 90s, tech-wise anyway. Cars are safer, we have a lot more technology nowadays, better technology also. But maybe this is just the boomer in me talking. But the 90s, mind you, I'm not one of those, "Hey, the 90s were better," kind of people, you know. But so many things in the 90s, they were just better. I doubt there's much arguing against that. And this kind of thing is one of the things that I believe were better. People were just enjoying themselves. Nobody would feel offended for absolutely anything. I mean, for absolutely everything, like they do nowadays. 90s had so many top tier video games. That too. Games nowadays are amazing. Tech-wise, incredible stuff. But most of them nowadays don't really hold a candle to the classics. And I dare say that with confidence because we remember those games nowadays. I mean, retro gaming, that's a massive thing. How many new games nowadays are made in the same style as games from the 90s, for example? So really, if those games were not as good as the ones nowadays, just because the graphics suck, we would not be remembering those. We would not be cheering those things. We would not be trying to recreate those experiences, you know. So yeah, 90s, 80s and 90s, magical times, magical times. All right, not great, not terrible. I am done with these freaking apple trees. Screw the rest. They are all hidden away by this tree here. Actually, let's see what that looks like without that tree. Yeah, look at all the trees that I can get to ignore. Awesome. Thank God I had the idea of planting this tree here. Let me save this thing and drink water. But you know, a good game, a good modern game that is not really trying to recreate the 90s, but that is really good, and it is actually homage to those games. This one, Horizon Chase Turbo. This game is really fun. Yes, the graphics are simple, but they are simple on purpose. Now, some people say, hey, those are mobile graphics. Yes, originally yes, but they were meant to be this way. Yeah, let me find some screenshots. Where's my screenshot manager? I'm not a big fan of this interface, honestly. Oh yeah, here's one. So yeah, simple graphics, but this game is really fun, really well made, and it was made to be a homage to the classic arcade style racing games of the 90s. You know, Top Gear, Lamborghini, whatever, Outrun. This is a game I recommend, by the way, for anyone to play. It is very fun. But yeah, we make stuff like this nowadays. Remembering the 90s, cherishing the memories and such. And yeah, this is my favorite car. But yeah, this is a fun game that I recommend, by the way. And by the way, fun fact, this game is actually made by a Brazilian studio. The major influence on this game is the Top Gear games for the Super Nintendo. Actually, the music composer for Top Gear, he also worked on the soundtrack for this game here, and it is actually very cheap nowadays. How much is it? Where's the price? Well, not as cheap as it was a few days ago, but still, it is a fair price, I guess. $50. Well, 50 reais in dollars is gonna be far less. But regardless, fun game. I recommend. Super Mario 64, B&K. I don't know what B&K is. But Doom, Age of Empires. Oh yes, God, I love Age of Empires. Age of Empires 2, classic. Everybody loves AOE 2. I still have my copy from way back in the day. And obviously I also have the HD remake on Steam. I don't have the new remake. Well, not really remake, but remaster. The definite, no. What is it called again? Age of Empires 2 definitive edition, something like that. I don't have that one. Actually, I wonder, can people playing the HD edition play multiplayer with people playing the other one? I wonder. Oh, Banjo-Kazooie. Alright. Yeah, Banjo-Kazooie never played. I actually don't have a Nintendo 64, unfortunately. So yeah, I never got to play that one. Unfortunately. What was I gonna do here? All right, I finished those trees. Yeah. Let me think something. Hold on, let me see something here. I remember I have done a thing. Excuse me. Last Sunday. Where is that? I added a new layer that I decided to keep hidden to enable later. It is a layer supposed to... What is this? I don't know. Supposed to enhance the light from the sun. Where did I put that layer? There, that one. That actually doesn't really help with the apple trees. It does make stuff in general look better, definitely, certainly more natural. But yeah, in regards to the shading on those apple trees, no, not really. Oh wow, stuff actually does look much better with this here. Yeah, I am definitely going to use this later. Okay, let's save. What to do next? Oh, I'm forgetting, there's these bushes down here. I think they are here in the background layer, I mean group. Yeah, here they are. Let's hide the structure. Bushes! 100% of exposure, all opacity. Brush size 300. Yeah, no. Let's see, 500. I'm gonna have to do these isolated like this. The Settlers 2 in particular was an absolutely time sink for most of the kids back in the day. I never played that one, but I heard about it. Did it run on Windows or DOS? Not that it really matters, I'm just curious. Alright, I thought it would be Windows. But yeah. Actually, a couple months ago, I was on a big retro gaming mood. So much so, actually, that... Where did I put that? Emulators? Ah, yes. There it is. Wiki says both. Oh, that is interesting. So I was in such a retro gaming craze that I did this. I recollected all the DOS games that I had laying around on my computer and floppy drives. Floppy disks. I mean, I still have floppy disks, by the way. And then I got some more, and I set up a DOSBox machine to play them again. Actually, there's one here that I want to be playing on a stream at some point. I can't remember which one it is. Should just look into the folder here where these are. DOSBox games. Look at all them games. All them DOS games. GT97 is one that I want to play on the stream sometime. Heck, what is that game? Is it this one? Right. The hell is this? I'm gonna go back to doing art in a moment. Right now, I am very curious. What is this thing here? Ah, that's Rise of the Triad. Okay, that's not the one that I'm thinking of. Yeah, oops. Heck. Get out. Stop beeping. West? It might be this. It is something related to the Wild West. It's not set up. I saw the one word apogee and now I want to play Caspian. Yeah, that is nostalgic, isn't it? Oh, I'm an idiot. The other one is actually in an ISO. It runs on DOS, but it does require a CD. I'm gonna find it here somewhere. I would know it when I see it. I haven't seen it yet. I haven't seen it yet. Monster Truck Madness 2, that's a game that I want to play on a stream at some point. I played this so much when I was younger. Gosh. Where is that? I did not delete that. Did I put it inside a folder for some reason? Or am I really just simply not remembering the name? My goodness, am I blind? Let me leave Photoshop on the screen here. Let's go with DOSBox. Did DOSBox kill pen pressure, by the way? Let me check that real quick. It did. Heck. Yeah, whoops. I really want to find what game that is. The one that I'm talking about. The one that I'm thinking. It is a game, if I recall correctly, made by an Italian studio. The game is all in English. It even has voice acting, believe it or not. It is a point-and-click adventure kind of game, and it is all animated like a kind of like a cartoon, you know. Not really like what's that game with that knight? Dragon's Quest? I think it is. Not kind of like, not really like that, but kind of in that style. What? Well, not really. Well, no, I have no idea what I'm talking about. Star Wars, Street of Sim City. I have yet to play this thing. How's it? Jesus Christ! Where is that? Is that really not in an ISO? I could swear there was an ISO for that. the hell is this? Okay, I know what this is. Sega. Outrun, Need for Speed, Microsoft Space Simulator. This here should be Lemmings, Inspector Gadget, Heretic, Duke Nukem, Doom, Dino Park, Descent? No. Dangerous Dave, Carmen Sandiego, whatever that is, Blood, Alley Cat. My god! Did I dream that? I couldn't. No. I am 100% sure I did get that game. It's gotta be this thing here. It's gotta be this West, whatever this is. How do you run this thing? tb.bat, what isn't this? West. Man, oh, Saloon. Yeah, I think this is it. Where the hell did I put the eyes over this? Apparently it's not here anywhere. What? How is that possible? Lego Island. Okay, bear with me everyone. I really must solve this mystery now. I am so confused. Let me run this thing and see what happens. Well, try to run this thing. CD games, CD West to TB. Okay. Setup. Okay. So that doesn't work. You have no idea how confused I am right now. And it is a game that seems to be so much fun to play. It is really well animated. I didn't play it, I just run it to see what it was like, and obviously if it run. But now I cannot even remember the name. And apparently it isn't anywhere. Oh my god, I am gonna go up a wall if I don't figure this out today. Not necessarily now, but if I don't figure this out, I'm gonna go nuts. Evil Dead. Evil Dead is a game that I would like to play on the stream as well. Kaxigambat, this is something that I want to play on a Wednesday stream, because apparently this game is 100% Brazilian, and therefore it is all in Portuguese. Also, it looks to be terrible. Oh man. Yeah, I am at a complete loss here. I'm pretty sure it is this West whatever, but that requires its ISO or the physical CD to be inserted. Half-Life. I thought of playing Half-Life on stream. The problem with playing Half-Life on a stream is that it is a bit of a long game. Hold on, my brain stopped responding for a moment. Let's reopen this. Gotta restart Photoshop to regain paint pressure. What is this? West, where is your ISO file? What are you actually called, game? My goodness. But yeah, I also haven't played Half-Life in quite some time. Did I accidentally leave it here? No, these are games that I was downloading at the time, that I have not yet tested these. So this one here, for the record, these two, apparently you play as dinosaurs. I have not yet tried those. Like in some sort of post-apocalyptic reality where there's humans and there's dinosaurs for some reason, something like that. I can't remember. Anyway, I'm gonna go bananas if I can figure that out. Oh boy. Alright, let's hide the structure. I did save after I finished those. Yes, I did save after I finished the apple trees. Alright, bushes. Let's select just this one and do its basic lighting. Like this. There we go. Now the reason why I isolated this one, and I am going to be doing this one first instead of doing both at the same time, is because as I pass the brush over here, when I get the brush around this area here to apply the effect to this brush, there is a very good chance that the brush is also going to apply just a little bit of lighting on this other bush over here, and that will mess up the effects on this one when I apply the effects on that one. So better to have them separated like this. Alright, let's darken this up. You know the drill. Now make this brighter again, but only by half. So let's see, size 500. There we go. Now with a smaller brush, let's give this a little more highlighting, like that. And using the burn tool with a 50% exposure, let's darken up the bottom here a bit, like so. Nice. And let's go back to the dodge tool, and now I'm going to use the leaf brush. Let's see, size 15, 10% exposure. And let's do this. Wait, I accidentally applied it twice apparently. Let's try again. Now this one, I believe there isn't going to be much issue if this isn't well detailed enough, because most of these bushes are going to be hidden away by the platform and the plants that are right next to the platform. Now I might say, oh, but Mike, then why are you even bothering doing that? I don't know. Because I'm kind of a perfectionist in a way. I honestly have no better answer. Alright, let's do this here. And a little bit up there too. With a few on the... that was too much. What about like this? No, too much. There. That's enough. Let's invert the selection and work on this other one here now. Since I already have the burn tool selected, let's swap the brushes, because I am going to need this in a moment. Now let's go to the dodge tool and do the same thing. Actually, keep these at 300 size. And let's apply the basic lighting. Just like so. Alrighty. 100% exposure on the burn tool. Let's make this 100% darker. And going back to the dodge tool, we're going to make this 50% brighter. So let's change the size here too. Yep, 600, sure. Why the heck not? Oh, this one is going to take a moment to apply. Alright, it is done. Nice. Let's now switch to the leaf brush and do the silver texture thing. So 15%, size 15 there, 10% over here, and let's do the thing. I have the door of my room open, and someone turned on the light on the corridor and just left it. That is really distracting and bothering me, because that light, nobody's actually needing that light. That is just wasting power. And it is distracting. I'm gonna finish this bush and I'm gonna go over there to turn that light off. That is really bothering me. It actually really bothers when someone leaves a light on for no reason and without need. So many times I went to the kitchen at night, for example, to make me a snack before bed when everyone is already away, and I just find the light of the kitchen on with nobody there, and I'm like, why? There's nobody here. Why leave the light on? Who are you lighting the kitchen for? Ants? So stupid. Alright. Let me save this. I'm gonna go there, turn on the light. Turn on the light. What am I saying? Turn the light off. I'll be back real quickly. I'm not even gonna activate the BRB message. I won't take long. Alrighty, the light is now off. I'm coming back. Alright, let me make myself comfortable on my chair again. And drink water. Alrighty, so the bushes are done. Let's see what they look like when I bring back the structure. Yeah, there we go. That's nice. Let's save this. Dude. This is almost finished. This is almost finished. Oh, yay! What am I going to do next, though? Okay, so the next things, I don't know what is the next thing that I will be doing, but the next things that I have to do are I have to shade both of these characters, draw their shadows on the wood here on the floor. So I got to do that. I also have to, let me zoom in a little bit. I have to make it look like at the root of the trees, not just this one, but also that one over there, that one over there in the distance, and the bushes down here. I have to make it look like there's actually grass growing around the roots. So, you know, to make it look like these things are actually there, not just floating above the ground, above the grass. And also draw the shadow that they are supposed to be casting on the grass. So that's another thing that I gotta do. So shading the characters, that's one thing. Drawing their shadows, that's two things. Making the trees and the bushes look like they are on the ground, you know, surrounded by grass, that's three things. Draw their shadows, that's four things. And then I think the only things left to do after that are gonna be adding some extra light effects to enhance the, let's say, atmosphere of the whole picture. One of the things in that area is gonna be, where is that? It's probably in the structure group for some reason. Yes, it is. Have this layer enabled. As you can see, this alone by itself already enhances a little bit of the environment. But there's more that I can do and will do to make this effect seem more natural, to enhance this a little more. So yeah, that's one of the last things that I should be doing on this picture. Having said that, I'm not really going to be doing any of that today because that is actually a lot of work to be done. What I will do now is kind of prepare for that, for when I do this. Where's the trees? Background, oh here, close by trees. Yeah, so definitely begin with this tree here. So I'm gonna leave that selected, and I am actually going to save this because this next part, the grass thing, this is actually going to be a kind of major change to the picture. I am going to save, I'm going to keep Alpha 7, this stage of the progress, as a backup, and those next things that I will be doing, I will start them on Alpha 8. That way, if I mess something up, like for example, make it look like there's grass around the tree, around the base of the tree, if I mess that up and I cannot undo that or fix it, then I can simply go back to Alpha 7 and either copy whatever I messed up from here into the new file, or just simply revert everything, go back to Alpha 7 and restart from there. So restart from this part here, I mean from this stage of progress. And speaking of stage of progress, let me save this stage of progress as a PNG file for comparison's sake, like I always do. I should delete all of these when I am done, so they don't be taking so much room, so much space in my hard drive. So saving is going to take a hot minute. I really need to find out what this game is actually called, and where the heck did I put the Eyes of Fire for that thing? It must be here somewhere. This is where I keep all the Eyes of Fire, all the Eyes of files for games. It is here somewhere. I'm just not seeing it. I should be seeing it, but I'm not for some reason. Mist, Need for Speed, Primal Rage, Quake Arena, Rio Mist, Revolt, Riven, Ship Simulator 2000. What? I never played this. When the hell did I get this? And how did I get it? Show do Milhão, SimCity 2000, SimCity 3000, Simcopter, Star Wars, Streets of SimCity, Strive, Super Mario. I beg your pardon? What is this? I have an idea. Photoshop is still saving? Photoshop is still saving. The Amazon Trail, The Fifth Element, The House of the Dead, Need for Speed, Tiririca Interativo, Virtua Cop. Where is that? Oh my god, where is that game? Where is that Eyes of Fire? Where? Worms, Turok, Truck Racing, whatever. Another truck racing for some reason. Star Wars, Rogue Squadron, Dark Forces, Quake. More Need for Speed, Myst 3, Mr. Bean, Need for Speed Underground 2, and Most Wanted are the best ones. I prefer Most Wanted, but I cannot disagree with you. The thing I don't like about the Underground games in the series is the extreme focus on tuning and making the cars look all like that, you know. I really don't like that. I'm kind of a purist, I guess. I prefer the car what am I going to say? I prefer the original appearance of the car. Yeah, as original as possible. That's how I like it. Goldman 3D, that was a terrible game. But I dare not delete it. GT Racing 97. The hell is GP4? Oh, some sort of racing game. Formula Truck Simulator, Euro Truck Simulator 1.3. Why do I have this? I have this game on Steam. Aragon PC game. I never got this thing to work. Doom 3, Create. I think this is Lego Creator. Alice Madness Returns, Age of Mythology. Man, I don't know. I don't believe I deleted that. It makes no sense for me to do that. But I have no idea. Anyway, let's compare progress from last Sunday, this here, with today. Oh yes, that is so much nicer. Whoops. I mean, that's kind of nice to compare as well. From this to this, excuse me, quite a lot of progress, eh? But yeah, look at that background. Hover for Winds Under. I play that. I think I still have that somewhere. Yeah, look at this. Even the bush there. Looks so much nicer. Let me compare today's progress with the first one that the first one that I saved. Game of the year. Wow, look at the difference. My God. Even the door handle looks kind of different. I mean, it is still the same size too, but if you pay attention to it, look at how it seems to change. It kind of seems to be larger, but no, it is still the exact same size. Very nice. I am happy with how this is turning out. Ponies need some shading. Yes, that I was talking about shortly ago. When I was talking about the next things that I got to do on this. Yes, they are still lacking. They are still missing their shading. Both ponies are supposed to be shaded as well. That's one of the things that I got to do on this picture before I actually can say this is finished. I got to shade them. Got to draw their shadows on the floor here, because you know they are casting shadows. Got to draw the shadows for the trees are casting on the grass. Got to make it look like the grass is actually growing around the trees. Same thing for the bushes, for the bushes down here. And then add some light effects on the environment and the structure here, and even the characters themselves, maybe the trees also, to enhance the light effects. Gotta shave them. Did I say shave them? If I said shave them, what I meant to say is shade them. I mean, shave and shade, they're so one letter away. Well, not one letter away, but one letter of difference anyway. But yeah, those are the things that I gotta do. But yeah, I think that's gonna be all for today on this picture. Sure. Well, I mean, Silvertrot, he does have a goatee, so in a way, he could shave. But yeah. So yeah, my friends, remember, I stream every Wednesday, Friday, and Sundays. On Wednesdays, I stream. The stream should start at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. On Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and on Sundays at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. I play a different game every week on Wednesdays and Fridays, and I draw live on Sundays. The Wednesday streams, they are always in Portuguese, so if you join those streams, you are likely not going to understand what I'm saying. But the Friday and Sunday streams, they are always in English, so no need to worry about those. And yeah, that's gonna be all for today. So Reptane, thank you so much for joining. Everyone else, also thank you so much for joining. I hope you all have enjoyed today's stream. And yeah, this is where I'm gonna leave. So everyone, have a very good evening. I wish you all an awesome weekend. The weekend is ending. Anyway, I wish you all an awesome week, and I'm gonna go bananas here trying to find the game. But I wish you all have a good night. So yeah, until we meet again, guys. God bless you all. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.
Present some problems and we don't know what to do. You've come to find your feelings and exactly what you knew. The odds are stacked quite poorly if without a winning hand. But bear in mind your bearing's only worse if you can. Balancing ships because I'll turn your ships to trash. You've got to set your sights and hopes on setting not to crash. The truth can seem quite big if you don't make your plans unfurl. But I will not let that my opinion of such enough. Bet on sinking ships because they'll turn your chips to trash. You've got to set your sights and hopes and setting not to crash. The truth can seem quite bleak if you don't make your plans unfurl. But I will not let that run by
try new conflict. Jenna, don't bet on sinking ships because they'll turn your chips to trash. You've got to set your sights and hopes and set it not to crash. The truth can seem quite bleak if you don't make your plans unfurl, but I would not let that mar my opinion on the Jenna. Don't bet on sinking ships because they'll turn your chips to trash. You've got to set your sights and hopes on setting not to crash. The truth can seem quite bleak if you don't make your plans unfurl, but I would not let that mar my opinion. Stipulations placed before you to get all the things you really need. Mr. Big may make things hard, but you have got to plant your seeds. Go to war, fight more. Your dreams thrive by competition. You'll find no one famous ever got there just by flinching at their foes. Cling against the torment, claw with all your might at what you know. Don't let go, just grow. Don't wait or play to indecision. Don't bet on taking shifts because you've got to be more grand. You've got to think ahead and carry out the things you planned. Citrus can be your fears when you can see where fossils lay. Don't quit on hopes or dreams when you have simply got to Jenna. Don't bet on sinking ships because they'll only drag you down. You've got to keep on sailing even when you want to frown. The world will keep on turning without matter where you land. You might as well be running when your feet should hit the sand. Don't bet on thinking just because you've got to be more grand. Chin up, don't bet on sinking ships because they'll only drag you down. Chin up, don't bet on sinking ships because they'll turn your trips to trash.